Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. I'm just kidding. Welcome back to the Quarantine Diaries, or the Lockdown Diaries. I don't even know. I don't know what day we're on. It is what it is. Okay, so, hi. It's nice to be back in front of the camera. It's nice to see you all. Obviously, just gonna preface this video by saying, if you're gonna be preparing food for people, obviously it's good to have good hygiene levels. Regardless of the pandemic, make sure you're washing your hands, make sure you're maintaining outstanding levels of personal hygiene, washing your hands before you're cooking, in between touching. If you're touching animal products, wash your hands in between touching those things. Everything. Even in this recipe, these are all things that are multiple people use, at least in this household, so make sure that you're keeping good hygiene standards. That being said, I understand that people come to YouTube to kind of escape maybe the newsreel that they're on or whatever, so without saying any further, here is the easiest and most delicious stir-fry sauce that you can make with just 5 ingredients. It's so easy, there's no cooking involved, there's no downtime, it's literally just going to be mixing these together. A couple of friends of mine I've made this for before and they're always asking for the recipe, and I'm like, you guys, it's 5 ingredients, it's not like, you know, I'm reaching for the stars here. So, obviously it's a peanut sauce, peanut butter is essential. I've got crunchy here, that's what I'm using. You can use smooth, it's completely up to you, it's your preference, that is what it is. Hot sauce, use your own brand. I'm kind of into, I don't know, not sponsored, Frank's Red Hot sauce at the moment. I like the tang that it has, but I usually use a West Indian one that's a little bit spicier because Frank's isn't that hot. Sweet chili sauce, soy sauce, and fresh ginger. We're going to mince this with a microplane or a grater. If you don't have that, or a really fine grater, sorry, try and just chop it, dice it up, watch your fingers with your knife, into maybe like tiny little cubes. Just try and get a fine mince on the fresh ginger. So, 5 ingredients, super easy. All you're going to do is mix them. Couldn't be easier. You've kind of got a equal parts measure here, more or less. So I'll take you through it. So we're going to have, for 4 people, so 4 servings, you need 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. If you're Caucasian, use 1 tablespoon of hot sauce. If you're any other ethnicity or race, 2 tablespoons. No, I'm just kidding. I use 2 tablespoons. It just depends. Spice is such a personal thing. I like it to be very hot, so I'll often add in some heat extract that I have in my larder, but it's completely up to you. If you're not that big of a fan of spice, but you like a little bit, use 1 tablespoon. If you like heat, 2 tablespoons. Simple. 2 tablespoons of sweet chili sauce, and then just 1 tablespoon of the soy sauce, because you're going to have salt in both of these, so we're not trying to raise everyone's blood pressure, especially during this current crisis time. We don't need any more fuel to the fire. About a thumb-sized piece of the ginger, that always says that online, it's so ridiculous. If it was coming from this piece, you can kind of see my thumb in comparison to it. Use, I'd say, grated. It's going to be about at 1 heaped teaspoon. Again, if you like loads of ginger, add loads of ginger, it's up to you. But about 1 tablespoon of this minced thumb-sized piece. And that's it. You're just going to mix all those together, agitate them, make sure that they're all combined. You're done. If you don't have a couple of these things in, I'm going to go through what you could use instead right now before I show you the consistency of the sauce and the cooking kind of instructions. Peanut butter, it's kind of essential. This is a peanut sauce, so you're kind of out at this point if you've not got peanut butter in. At a stretch, if you have tahini, I feel like if you have tahini and you don't have peanut butter, what's going on? You okay? What's happening to you? Tahini could work in place of that. It's just going to give a different vibe. It's going to be more sesame kind of toasted taste rather than that kind of familiar peanut butter taste that we have from peanuts. Hot sauce, you could use chili flakes or fresh chili. I like the kind of zip that the hot sauce gives because it's got that vinegar kind of aspect to it. If you don't want the kind of intense sourness, I guess, that comes with hot sauce, because you've got that going on here. Chili powder, maybe. Chili flakes could definitely work. Sweet chili sauce. The thing is this is a good balance. You've got fat, heat, sweet, salt, and then a zip of like, from the fresh ginger, warmth maybe. Other sweet things, you need to kind of balance the fat and the kind of saltiness with the sweets. So maybe a sweet teriyaki or a rich kind of hoisin sauce, that would be perfect as well with this. It's just going to give a different flavour, obviously. I mean, this is sweet chili, hoisin, they're different, but you're going to get that kind of similar hit of sweetness and sugar content, so that's my recommendation of that. If you don't have soy sauce, are you okay? Kind of a tricky one to do. Maybe miso, white miso or regular miso paste, that could work because it can kind of give that kind of Asian, oriental umami flavour that is really kind of key to this type of dish. Salt, I don't think is going to cut it. If you really didn't have any dupe for this, I'd just stick with these. Fish sauce also could work if you happen to have fish sauce in. There's a vegan version now, you can get that from some supermarkets, but the regular one's just fine. But beware, a little goes a long way. It's a very strong flavoured sauce as well as high in sodium. Now with ginger, you could use ground ginger. It's just going to give you a different kind of experience. Fresh ginger is kind of going to give you that zip, that kind of punch, that freshness, that fragrance, and ground ginger is not going to give you the same thing, sorry. Ground ginger is going to give it kind of a warmth flavour. You can definitely use it. I would use about half a teaspoon of ground ginger. It's just going to be a different experience, guys. So there are my dupes and replacements. That's about what I could come up with off the top of my head. So without further ado, I'll show you what the sauce looks like. As luck would have it, here's one I prepared earlier. Just quickly before I show you the consistency of the sauce, there's no cooking, which is great about this. You don't have to kind of let it simmer for 10 minutes. You can just add it at the end, which is what I'll tell you. Once you've finished kind of cooking your chicken or your prawn or whatever you're going to do, your stir-fried vegetables, turn the heat off the pan. Obviously while the pan is still hot, add in the sauce, mix it all together very well, and just make sure that it's all well incorporated, combined and warmed through, and then you can serve it immediately with your noodles or rice or whatever you're going to do. So I'll just show you the consistency. Alright, so it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but you can see the consistency here. It's fairly thick, it should coat the back of your spoon, but it's still very much a liquid. If it's too thick and pasty, you can just add a bit of water. I would just make sure, if it looks a little bit too thick, it probably is going to be. You don't want your stir fry to kind of clump and stick together, so if necessary, add a little bit of water to loosen it. Just a tablespoon or so will definitely make sure you're on your way. So here's what it looks like. Not that pretty, but I swear to God it's delicious. So there you have it. Easiest stir fry sauce you'll probably ever make, at least today. I've gone through everything, I think that's about it. So, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. Let me know what worked about this for you, what you didn't like. Let me know if there was anything that you tried that was different, that really worked, and I would love to hear about that because I'm always looking at things where we can adapt recipes. And all I can say is stay safe and stay blessed, and wash your hands. Wishing you the best week ever, and thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.